Hello, New York State Music Teacher Association members. In my studio, I like to introduce students to a wide variety of composers and their pieces from the onset of piano study. While not every serious composer has written music for the beginning piano student, Composer Florence Price has written some great gems for the student at this level. In this presentation, I will introduce you to the pedagogy pieces of Price that are accessible to the youngest of beginners. First, a little background on Price. Born in 1887, Price received degrees in piano teaching and organ from the New England Conservatory, where she studied with George Chadwick. Chadwick encouraged Price to incorporate African-American materials into her works. She then went on to become one of the first African-American composers to have works performed by major U.S. orchestras and opera companies. During her career as a composer and performer, Price also taught students from the beginning level to the collegiate level. While she never composed a traditional beginning piano method, Price did write pedagogy pieces for the youngest student to convey specific topics. In 2015 and 16, researcher Jensen Abbott compiled Price's beginning pieces into 2 volumes. I will briefly cover a few pieces that stood out to me as fine examples of Price's works for the youngest student. The first piece I would like to introduce you to is from a collection called Little Pieces on White Keys. You'll notice that both hands are written in the C 5-finger scale. It includes both parallel motion and contrary motion, and the piece introduces the student to the polyphonic music. The second piece I want to introduce you to is from a collection called Little Pieces on Black Keys. This piece, entitled This Way and That, is written in the key of F sharp. However, it is playable using 2 adjoining groups of black keys, allowing students to either learn it by intervallic reading or the teacher to teach it by rote. The piece includes a charming melody, and rhythmically it serves as an introduction to syncopation and some of Price's more intermediate works. The next piece, entitled The Froggy and the Rabbit, is written as a study in rhythm. The right hand is in the F 5-finger scale, including B flat. The left hand is in the C 5-finger scale. It is written in 6/8 time and includes repeating patterns imitated between the hands. Articulation is provided by way of legato marks. Students and teachers can determine their own dynamics. The next piece is out of volume 2. It's entitled Autumn Echoes. Price wrote this as a way to develop the imagination and expression of students. Written in D minor, the hands imitate each other. Very little is written in the way of articulation and dynamics and tempo, leaving it up to the students to use their imagination. The last piece I will show you today is called Climbing Up the Mountain. Written in the key of G, Price again wrote this piece for the development of the imagination. As the name suggests, the student ascends the piano by crossing the left over the right, ending on a high G, allowing students to navigate several octaves. Legato markings are used, but students can experiment with crescendos and diminuendos following the shape of the melodic line. With these pedagogy pieces, Price does not offer much guidance by the way of musical notation, but this allows for the students to be able to supply articulation, dynamics, and tempos to supplement the lesson concepts. I hope I've inspired you to delve a little bit deeper into this underperformed composer. Beginning student recital pieces don't all have to come from the method books, and with a little digging, gems like these can grace the recitals everywhere.